This is the third tutorial for Fusion 360. In the last tutorial, we created this strut. The first tutorial, we created the corner box. One of my students pointed out that I did not chamfer this edge or this edge, or that I didn't fillet those edges. So the great thing about a CAD model is I can come in here, I can click on Modify, and I can grab this edge and this edge. I can go back and I can put 0.05 and I can fix my mistake. So now I think that I've got all of the edges. And I can look and see that that edge is skinnier than those two. So I'm going to come down here to my history. I'm going to right click this and I need to edit that feature. And for some reason it's not letting me do that. So we'll go ahead and undo the fillet. I'll select that edge and that edge. Pull up the fillet tool, and I think the problem was I used 0.1. That looks better, so now I can go ahead and hit OK. Go back to my home view. So now I think I've got all the edges filleted on my cube, and I've got the strut. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to create several of these. Our idea is to assemble a little cube from these boxes and from these struts. So I'm going to need several copies of these. So I'm going to highlight my corner box. I'm going to right click on it and say copy. I'm just going to go ahead and right click, come down here and hit paste. I'm going to grab the center of this thing and just move it away and hit OK. I'm going to go ahead and create a couple more of these and hit paste again, move it away, hit OK, right click, paste, move it away. Eventually we're going to need 8 of these cubes. I don't want to put too many things on the workspace all at once. But that's how you can copy and paste objects. And you can see it's corner box 1, 2, 3, and 4. Different instances of the same box. I'm going to click on strut. I'm going to right click. I'm going to copy the strut. And this time I'm going to click paste. Not only am I going to move it out of the way, but I'm going to change the orientation. One of my struts, this strut will go into this part of the cube, but then I need to rotate this one by 90 degrees. So I can grab it and rotate it till that says 90. You can just type in 90. I'm going to hit OK with that one. I'm going to go back to this strut again. This is strut number 1. I guess I can just come back here, I can hit paste again. I'm going to take this strut. I'm going to rotate this strut vertically by 90 degrees so it can go in the top part of the cube. And eventually you'll need 4 of these vertical struts. You'll need 4 of these that are along the blue axis, and you need 4 of these along the red axis to complete the cube. But I'm going to go ahead and we're going to use the assemble function. We're going to use this joint command. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cube. This is my first one. It doesn't matter which one you pick. But I'm going to take this corner box and I'm going to ground that corner box. It puts a little pin in it to let you know that this box is now fixed in space. So as I move anything else, this box will not move. It'll stay exactly where it is. So now I'm going to join these struts to these boxes, and we're going to use this joint command to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and select joint. I'm going to go ahead and leave it in the position that it's in. If I were to hit continue, it would put them all back to where they were before. So I'll just leave capture position. And it grays out this first box because that's the one that's grounded. So I'm going to go ahead and whatever you click first, it's going to move the first one to match up with the second one. So since this is grounded, it kind of won't let you move that one. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to go ahead and select this outer part of the face. I'm going to select that. I can either use this menu right here. We're going to do a cylindrical joint. So I click that and it knows that it's cylindrical. So component 1 is this one. Component 2, I want this strut to go in that hole. And it's actually flipped the wrong way around. So I'll hit flip and it rotates it by 180 degrees. And if I look, I can click on the animate and it shows what motion it does. So I can click on the top view and see that that shaft is lined up along those axes. And if I click on the front view, I can see that it goes the same way. So that's what I want. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. So now if I grab this strut and try to move it, the only way that it moves, it can still spin and revolve, but it only moves along that axis that I joined it. So I'll go ahead and put that back to 0 or close to it. The next thing I want to do is I want these two faces to line up. So I'll use the joint command again, leave it in the position. I'm going to use the shift and the middle mouse button to rotate. I'm going to zoom in, select that face. I want this face and the face of the cube to be a planar constraint. So I'll go ahead and select that. This blue means that I've successfully selected that face. The next thing I'm going to do is select this face of the cube. So I do that. It says there's already a cylindrical joint. That's okay. So I'll go ahead and click yes. And right now it's trying to show me just the planar constraint. So I can go ahead and click animate. And if I click the top view, I can see that those two faces are mated up. And it's just sliding the way that I want it to. Those two faces are going to be mated the way that I want. So I'll go ahead and hit stop the animation. Go back to the home view. And it looks like it's out of the cylindrical, but right now it's just focused on the planar constraint. When I hit OK, it goes back to being both of those. So now when I try to grab this strut and I try to move it, it won't move in or out of the corner box because those faces are glued together, and it won't move out of the hole because those are glued together. So now this strut is successfully joined to that corner box. You're going to just repeat that process several more times to start building your cube. I'll do it once more. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to need to take this strut, which is strut 2. I'm going to move this. I don't know if I spun it the wrong way. I need to put that to 90 degrees. I'm going to put this strut into that part of the box. So I'll use the assemble. I'm going to use the joint command. I'm going to leave them in their positions. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to zoom in, select this part of the strut, make sure that I've got the cylindrical joint. I'm going to select that inside, and I can see that that's the way that I want it. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to do a second joint where I use the planar, and I have to select this first one to mate up with this second face. It doesn't hit OK, so I'm going to just click this again. I'm going to say yes, I'm going to do a second joint. I'm going to hit OK. So I can go to my view, and I can look and see that if I try to grab these, none of these are moving because this is grounded and these two struts are attached to that corner cube. If I grab one of these things that's not grounded, I can move this around and put it in whatever position I need to get it close. So you will continue doing this until you assemble your entire cube.